and pass the exams, that is at the basic level. Students who pass with distinction, and those basically he conducted the survey, and he did that from the public sector and the private sector, and his investigations or his findings came out that those who perform very well are the children who have parents supporting them with extra teachers, being it at home or at the various schools, and for that matter they are able to cover the syllabus in time and are able to even go over it again. So by the time they get to the exams time, they might have covered everything and prepared themselves very well for the exams. So I believe that it is not because of money that teachers organize extra classes. It is for the good of the children.
Are you speaking with specific reference to some teachers that you know, or you're speaking with specific reference to all teachers?
I am speaking with specific reference to teachers that I have been with, teachers that I know.
I understand yours should be more organized because it's organized by the school, but look at situations where individual teachers organize them for themselves.
That is where problems have arisen, and I believe there is a way of trying to solve this whole problem, but I think it is something that we have not looked at very well. I would want to look at this extra classes thing as an extra duty, an extra work done by any other person in the other sectors of our economy. For instance, if you are to look at a doctor for an example, if a doctor feels that he has 8 hours to work, but after that, if there happens to be a lot of work whereby the doctor cannot leave the patients at the hospital, would have to attend to the patients, we consider that as an extra duty.
Okay, so if I get your argument correctly, you're saying that if doctors have the right to overtime, teachers should have the right to extra classes.
That is not the point I'm making.
Okay.
I'm looking at it from this point of view that some things should be done in a way to look at the extra classes as like what we have in the other sectors, where a worker after the normal hours that the worker works, there is an extra time for the worker to do other jobs, where the worker is paid for that job done. Okay. You understand the point I'm making? So I believe extra classes should be looked at from that angle. If it should be organized, it should be looked at from that angle. If it should be done, then something could be worked out. And I think I have a suggestion that if the government can draw up or draft a policy to ensure that teachers are given such an extra time to work, and where they would be paid with some amount, something like an allowance, so that it wouldn't happen in a situation where individual teachers would organize these extra classes and charge the children with huge sums of amount with the view of making money for themselves. So I believe that is what should be done to curtail these all problems in the system. If they are able to do that, then fine. I believe something could be worked out. But I think something has not been done right. That is why people do complain. Parents have been complaining. It's all over the place, and I think something should be done about it. And that is the suggestion I have. If the government can come in and draw up a policy so that teachers, the extra classes, if teachers feel that the syllabus is voluminous, they can't complete the syllabus within that time, then an extra classes could be organized and they will be paid in the form of allowance.
Okay, so it does not look like we're sending the wrong information. The key word here is that schools should desist from organizing compulsory extra classes for students, and not just all extra classes. But let's look at, I've taught in the JSS when I left the senior high school of Fresh, and the school had an extra classes hour, then they had an extension right after the extra classes, and it was official, as in organized by the school, wouldn't that be so stressful for students?
It depends on how you go about it. You're talking of being stressful. I know we have a situation where the children are made to go for break. So it's not like they will be in class all the time throughout the hours that they will be in school. You would have to give them some time off to relax their muscles and later come back for classes. So I believe as I said, there are ways of getting these things done. But I have a problem with our educational heads and policy makers when it comes to educational issues. I think some things have not been done right, and they have not seen the need to sit down and look at these things and to do the right things. So the teachers, they have also seen that as an opportunity to create wealth for themselves, because one, they are underpaid, and for that matter, if a teacher feels that that is the avenue for which he or she can get money from, why not? Because if you go to other sectors, some people are also exploiting other avenues to get money for themselves.
Mentioning of underpayment, which sector of the country in terms of employment can be said not to be underpaid as far as complaints from them are concerned?
The fact is, it's a general problem, but I would want to say this. I don't know if you would permit me to say this in Chi.
Go ahead. No problem.
Yes. Abuabi, your friend Petio, Swan, Petio, or say Misuman, any many, and Abuabi answer said, yes, he will be answered the Esunaniwa. You see, so if there are people with problems with respect to their salaries, they would have to.
It is up to them.
Exactly.
Okay.
So for me, I am speaking as a teacher, and I believe teachers are underpaid, and that accounts for the reason why individuals would want to organize extra classes for their students. And as I did say, teachers organize extra classes not because they want to enrich themselves, but in the end, they actually help the students. And students who take these extra classes serious come out with flying colors. They do well. And as I told you, there has been a survey conducted. If you would ask parents who have organized classes for their children, even at home, how they perform, and you compare it to children who don't have the access to extra classes, how they also perform, it tells you that those who are privileged to get extra classes, they perform better than those who do not. That is why people even have this notion that when you go to the private schools, they are doing very well as compared to the public sector. And the question is why? Because when you go to the public sectors, that is where you have trained teachers, and most of these private schools have SS graduates.
Yeah, myself I was one. Yeah,
you understand my point, but yet they do very well, or they perform very well as compared to the public sectors, and it's because of one, they organize these extra classes, and it's very effective. Supervision, very effective. Is that okay? That is why they perform very well.
Okay, we don't have much time, but in summary, what do you say to this directive from government? Should it continue or should it stop?
I would be very glad if you give me you read about the directive, so that I will get to know what it actually entails.
I'll read this from cdfmonline.com. It says the Ministry of Education has issued a stern warning to schools to desist from organizing compulsory extra classes for students. Addressing the 34th speech and prize giving day of the Academy of Christ the King in Cape Coast, the Deputy Minister of Education, Madam Elizabeth Amwatete, said instead of teaching adequately during normal class hours, some teachers concentrate on extra classes, a situation which increased the financial burden on parents. I'll come to that too. The issue of extra classes has become controversial as stakeholders in education delivery have taken different positions on the matter. Now, while the Ministry of Education has declared its intention to ban them, teachers have said not